Santo de cualquier forma se puede mover.
Because he doesn't choose a race, he doesn't choose a
Porque Él no escoge ni raza ni lenguaje.
The Holy Spirit is the Holy Spirit.
El Espíritu Santo es el Espíritu Santo.
Kingdom of God, God's children.
Y Él,
God's children.
y Él escoge los hijos de Dios.
So, I'm going to get this spoken word for the glory of God.
Gloria a Dios. En esta palabra hablada
I won't be long. Don't worry.
no va a tomar tiempo.
Hallelujah. Man, my God is so amazing. Because who else could create something out of nothing and let it be suspended in the air on this ginormous gap we call the outer space? To let this tiny itty bitty people that could get lost in the palm of his hand seek his face. There is power in his whisper. He moves mountains and shakes towers. He is omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, transcendent, triune, perfect, and holy. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the lethal weapon, terminator. He is our healer, provider, mender, potter, our defender, strong tower, shelter for life's heavy showers. You see, this Christian living, this life in God's presence was never created to be constrained by independence, but by dependence on Him. Knowing that I need Jesus. My heart bleeds for Jesus. I desperately long to be with Jesus. My mind, body, and soul wants to see Jesus, to act like Jesus, to speak like Jesus, to look like Jesus, and walk like Jesus. For He breaks bondages and frees men. He raises the dead and gives life to them. He heals the lame and the leper, the blind and the depressor, the murderer and the oppressor. He'll speak and it will come into existence, and you won't even know how. He'll blow your mind into tears in your eyes, and all you can say is, wow! Intimacy in His presence. It's not just a bunch of words articulated to create a sentence. It's life given by Him who can give or take, He who can break every chain. But somehow we restrained to try to conceal the power in His name, as if we could ever attain the fullness of His presence, His overwhelming essence. In the box we call religion, it just comes to seeking God just for provision. A gospel all about me, and you pose, worship pose, and then you go back home afraid to look in the mirror of what you chose. Because it's easy to live a life that's really breezy, cool, to find your escape. But when somebody asks you, put on the tape of willing quietness, which is the worst type of silence, knowing you have light but don't shine it. And it's as if we hear God telling us in this time, I need you to make a public appeal. Tell the people they need to feel what I feel. To be a voice in the desert, a light in the darkness. You see, for far too long, we've seen the pride, closed our eyes, and said everything is fine. So many dying by sin, suspended in the air, walking on a rope that's really thin, and we sealed our lips while many people are